Santa Claus is a horrible individual. You might be thinking, bro, what are you talking about? Santa is one of the best people on the planet. He gives gifts to the entire world. But your gifts are at the suffering of others. Every single gift that you get is because another person suffered in the long run. You might be talking about, bro, wait, let me explain. Let me explain. We're going to go by his crimes one by one. So, first of all, he has a tremendous power at work. Now, you guys, you obviously know the elves and you know Santa Claus. But what you guys don't know is the elves don't get paid. Now, I know you guys know that elves are magical creatures. They aren't workers, human workers like us. They can work all year round, and that is okay. But I want to ask you a question. Would you want to work all year with no breaks, no money, and you can't see your friends or family? I would say no. If the government found out that any, and I mean anything like that was actually existing, the entire operation would get shut down. The entire operation would go to jail and you would be able to get set free. But you guys want to glaze Santa Claus for having his own child worker ring. What? Okay, not child, but his own worker ring, and you're benefiting off of that. Every single gift that you get is because an elf and his entire family were born and have to raise and make presents all year around. And me personally, that's not a job that I want to live. And most of you guys don't even have jobs in the first place. So we obviously know that's not a job you want either. All right, number two, we got stalking. You obviously know stalking is one of Santa's main priorities. He watches kids all year to know if you were a bad kid or a good kid. And there is only one way that we could do that is by watching the kids. He's always looking at you. When you're in the shower, guess who's there? Santa Claus. When you're talking to a girl, guess who's there? Santa Claus. When you're doing naughty things in your bedroom at night, guess who's there? Santa Claus. Would you feel uncomfortable? This is a question I have to ask you. If superpowers existed, right? You have super strength, you can lift up cars, super speed, whatever. And then you have invisibility. Wouldn't you be exempt from society? Because if an invisible power existed, that literally means that even if no invisible superhero is near you, you would always feel off because you know that they could be near you right now. When you're in your room late at night and you want to do some things, you're going to be like, but what if somebody's watching me? I can't do it. When you're about to go rob somebody or when you're about to go and do something that you know that you're not supposed to be doing, you're like, what if what if he's watching me? And obviously that is a good thing. It is keeping you in check. But if somebody is fully just locking you down and that you feel like you fully cannot do anything because you just feel watched 24/7, that's what Santa Claus is really doing. Santa Claus is obviously watching you 24/7. And then when you finally get to the Christmas year and you wake up with coal in your backpack, that means that he's seen you cracking some girl on a Tuesday evening, and that's not something that Santa Claus should be proud of. He shouldn't be watching two kids because that's what his Santa Christmas is for, cracking on a Tuesday night. Number three, we got breaking and entering. We obviously know Santa Claus, he enters through the chimney, he brings the gifts, he leaves it, and then he eats your cookies and milk. He Or is that what we're doing now? We're praising people for somebody breaking in your house. And yet he's giving you gifts. It doesn't matter though, because these gifts are again work off of workers who cannot leave, have to work all year and get no pay. So if those are the gifts that you want in your life, that says something about you. And also, he comes in your refrigerator, he eats your cookies, your milk, your carrots, and then he leaves like he just earned that responsibility. He don't pay no bills, he don't pay no rent, but he could come in my house, eat my cookies, eat my milk, and eat my carrots. Get on out of here, dude. Get on out of here. You need to go. Then to make it even worse, we got animal endangerment. He makes 12 reindeer every year carry his 600-pound. Santa Claus is a big bodied individual. So he's making him carry two 20 billion gifts around the world in his 600-pound sleigh every year of these animals endangerment. That's the guy what would you do if you see somebody, right? Let's say you are a dog person and you see six pit bulls dragging this man around in a cart with shopping bags attached to it. You would call the cops. You would call the cops. And I mean, I understand that we have horses, right? Now, horses and Santa Claus, they are the same. They're kind of the same thing, right? But the difference between a horse and Santa Claus is that we at least try to take care of the horses, right? Even if we are abusing the horse, because you might not like it, but we are abusing the horse. Like, no horse wants to wake up and have to infinitely carry a wagon or have to go run in races that they genuinely do not want to run in. If you guys watch Japanese horse racing, there was a horse named Goldship. She never wanted to race. She did race sometimes, but she was always acting rowdy. She did not want to be in that. No, he did not want to be in that field. So we are misusing horses all the time, right? You can't compare that to Santa Claus, but at least we feed the horses. We help the horses, get their things off, and we kind of take care of the horses. We don't know what Santa Claus does to these reindeer. We just know every year he pulls the reindeer up. He gets his favorite reindeer, Rudolph, and they go and ride around the town, dropping presents on everybody. But how do we not know if he's feeding these reindeer? They're magical creatures, so they don't need to eat. But does that mean just because hypothetically, right, you don't need to drink water, right? You obviously want to drink water, but you can live your entire life off of juice, soda, and whatever. Your body's going to be way weaker than somebody who drinks water. You're not going to have as much nutrition as somebody who drinks water, but you are going to be able to live, right? At least for a while. Would you want to live a life like that? Is live a complete life without drinking water and only just drinking juice and soda? Probably not. Probably not. Rudolph could literally every year he picks up these horses. I mean, Santa Claus could literally pick up all his horses every year. Boom. Then after the year is over, he drops the reindeers off into the wild, and these reindeers have to just go live on their own and be endangered until the entire year is over. And again, would you want your dogs living like that? I say no. I say no. It's like the younger I was, the cooler I thought Santa is. But the more you think about it, Santa is genuinely a horrible person. And hey, wait. If any kids are watching this, Santa is real, by the way. Like, if anybody tells you that Santa isn't real, that's just because they're probably not loved at home and they want to make other people's day worse and ruin other people's lives. But it is real, and anybody who tells you Santa isn't real is a liar. So if you get any Christmas gifts, it's because Santa was real. And I got one more crime I could give this boy Santa, and I know this is a huge stretch, but we got the bystander. Now, this one technically isn't a crime because it is not a law to report. If you are aiding and abetting a crime, you could go to jail. If you know things about a crime and you cover it up, you could go to jail. In the country, I mean, in the state I live in, right? If you see a crime, there is not a law for you to report the crime. What now? Yeah, but even though you won't go to jail if you report the harm, you can still go to citizens court, meaning you could hypothetically, since Santa is always watching these kids, right? There's kids all around the world in child endangerment camps, right? Santa does not do anything to help these kids in these camps, right? Theoretically, since Santa is in these camps, I mean, since these kids are in these camps and Santa is not helping these kids, the families of these kids could take Santa to court and sue him for some money. Now, yes, Santa wouldn't go to jail for those crimes, but he could get sued for lots of money. And if Santa is able to create millions of gifts every year, you obviously know he's making paper. Elon Musk just hit $1 trillion. Santa is making way more than $1 trillion a year. And while his workers are underpaid bums who have to sit in their room and these staunchy elf outfits, and with I know them elf outfits itch, bro. They have to itch because when I be wearing shirts like that, it be itching me. And the final crime, this is the biggest hit yet. We got pedophilia. Now wait. As I said earlier, Santa Claus is is watching kids 24/7. Now kids are 17 to obviously 1 year old. Now, a 17 to 14-year-old are obviously, some of them are getting active. And if Santa Claus is watching a kid get active with another kid, and then he's not giving him gifts because obviously she's getting active, then that means Santa Claus is a pedophile. Because why are you watching kids do things with each other? That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. And overall, I just don't think Santa Claus is a good person. He's watching kids do things. He's over here not paying his workers. He's not letting his workers leave. He has to make them work all year to make infinite amount of gifts. Basically, this is even worse. He's literally creating slaves. Now listen. Even though these people are not humans, they aren't humans. He's using magic. He creates the slaves, and then after he creates the slaves, these slaves' only purpose in life is to make gifts, make gifts, make gifts, and make gifts. That's not a life that you want to live either. Even if you have no free will, even if you are okay. So listen, if you support Santa Claus, right? Hypothetically, that legit just means you support AI taking over. You might say those do not correlate at all. Yes, it does. Listen, Santa Claus whole thing. He has these elves. They make gifts all around the world, 24/7. So then, when Christmas comes, they can go and drop these gifts off. Right? If you support Santa Claus, you are just saying that I support AI working 24. I mean, AI robots taking all my jobs, working 24/7, so they could bring all of these resources to the planet 24/7. I mean, when the time comes. That's what you're saying. Because they're not going to have any free will. They're not going to have a brain. They're not going to have a heart. So they could just work these guys to death instead of regular humans who obviously, need to be taken care of, need to be fed. They can bleed. They are injurable. While robots, even if they do get injured, they are easily recoverable because they could just make another robot. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. If you support Santa Claus and his elves, his slavery composition, then you just saying, yes, I support I support world robot domination. That's it. That's it. Overall, if any kids, if you are watching this, this is completely satire. I fully don't care. This is satire. Santa is an amazing individual, kids. He gives you your gifts. He's one of the best people on the planet, kids. So if you are watching this, this was a joke. This was a joke, kids. Santa is real. Santa is a very good person, and I didn't mean to shake your dreams. So don't go and cry. Like this is a joke, kids. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, and hype it.